Hey, good morning. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are all doing well. Had a great weekend. Um, I am alternate juror or AJ or the newly appointed gossip queen that happened on Saturday on Broken Baker's channel. I have no idea why he said that, but it is stuck, so we'll just roll with it. It's fine. I have no gossip. I was asked if I had gossip. I had none. So whatever.
Yeah, I got nothing there either.
I got nothing. I got nothing. I just want to
No, I
say.
got gossip, but I refuse from sharing.
Hello.
It's boring. It's just that McDonald's Big Mac sales are up by 57%. There's your gossip.
You would know that. You would know that. I just want to welcome and say hello to Skits West Crime Music. Thank you for joining us this morning. I appreciate it. I've got Gabby, Flashman, and Kelly with us. With me. I am only one person. There's not us here. Some days I wonder, but it's just me. We are going to finish up. I'm going to say, come hell or high water, we are finishing up Jolly Jane Toppan today.
This kind of like has been like an actual trial where it goes multiple days.
Yes. Like we had some delays. We had some whatever.
Jolly
Jane
with this granted.
Yeah. This trial took place in 1901 in Massachusetts. Gabby found the actual court transcripts, so we have been reading them. Gabby did a presentation on Jolly Jane before we came to read these transcripts, the aforesaid transcripts.
I
know that word's going to stay with us forever. So she is on trial for this. This trial is the trial of Mary D. Gibbs, who Jolly Jane allegedly poisoned with morphine and atropine. Her total count was 31, I think, known, correct, Gabby?
Yeah, she confessed to that many.
To 31, but there was a possible 100 victims.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some Pedro Lopez type stuff with like 300 and stuff like that.
I would say a lot of people went undetected because they didn't know. Probably thought they just passed away from whatever, especially when she was working in the hospital, just passed away from illness or what have you.
Well, and she picked her victims as like elderly, sick people too. So,
except for poor little Genevieve.
That's true.
Who was 8 years old.
That's the case of them. These guys, they get sloppy and they decide, oh, well, I'm getting comfortable now. I can do whoever I want.
Yes, because when she allegedly unalived Mary Gibbs's parents had recently both passed away, and I have always got the feeling they attributed that to her, correct? Am I right in that thinking?
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on. She wasn't one of those serial unalivers that took their, do one and then 2 years later do another one, and then she's like, it's been a day.
She's
Another family's gone.
It's been a decade.
Like, oh, can I go take the train and go get some morphine?
Probably.
Great. Sorry, Davis.
Hyundai water or whatever it was called.
Oh, Hunyadi.
I would never get that correct.
Hunyadi. So we are picking up with the testimony today. Don't ask us why. We have all given these guys a Southern accent.
That's for me, man. Kind of all over the place.
Yeah, he's Mississippiana, but
with a Boston twang.
A Boston twang.
So yes, this trial took place in Massachusetts. We took it south. So I think it was because Beulah Jacobs was the very first witness, and to me, that is a southern
Name.
name.
Yeah,
So
it totally
It's
is.
either Southern or British. I would imagine it British when we see that. Beulah Jacobs, like, okay.
Beulah Jacobs. Hi, Tracy. I hope
Hey,
you're
Tracy.
feeling better. Thanks for joining us. Maybe we can bring some happiness to you a
Still
little bit.
will.
Everybody's got the crud.
Yep.
Yeah, I was messed up last week, unfortunately. No, I'm so glad
Yeah.
I'm out.
I mean, when Flashman can't eat,
It's bad. That's bad.
There's a problem.
it's a problem. Like, it's a crisis. When he's not posting what he's having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we all don't know what to do.
But
Yeah.
I was able to eat my seafood on Friday night, so.
I did see that after we talked about salmon, you had salmon.
Yeah, it was salmon and corn. Well, more effective to say corn muffin, so that's what it was, a muffin. But and crab fries, pretty good too.
Good. I hope you had a good birthday. Flashman turned a quarter of a century on Friday. The aforesaid Friday.
Aforesaid. Aforementioned.
Better than what my aunt said. She's like, you 25 going on 55. Like, no, that works.
I am not.
I swear to God, I swear to you, God, there is a 60-year-old Louisiana man in that body somewhere.
Yes, definitely.
There's in there somewhere. There's a
I agree.
retired
Louisiana
man.
I'm watching a lot of Southern cases with Mississippi, Kentucky, so Tennessee.
So your accent's going to get worse. Is that what you're telling us?
Most likely. I know people like, can you speak another language? I can barely speak English. That is my first language.
Or unless you ask him to read like a woman, he'll just turn into Mickey Mouse.
That was amazing.
That did a double on my throat.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that made my day.
That. All right. Gabby is going to be Mr. Swift. He is a Commonwealth attorney. She's been reading his lines all along. So am I doing Professor Wood?
Yeah, you want to do that? Start it off?
That's fine.
All right, ready?
I am. Okay, I feel like we're going to do a cheer.
Rah, rah. No, I'm just kidding. Professor Edwards S. Wood.
Yes. Wait, maybe I should be like, yes. I can't do a man's voice.
Are you a chemist?
Yes.
So awkward. How many years of experience?
I have been a professor of chemistry for 31 years. I can't do it.
You were present at the autopsy of Mary Do Gibbs and Katsumet. I saw that and I just had to read it. Instead of putting D, AJ wrote do.
Oh.
Yes, August 30th of last year.
You know what's even funnier is the D and the O are not even next to each other on the keyboard.
I don't know.
Which is even more hilarious.
Hey, my writing method up sometimes too. It's just how it works sometimes.
I don't know.
You are a professor where?
Harvard Medical School.
Your experience is somewhat varied in the medical line?
Yes. Oh, that's me again. I admit he is sufficiently qualified as an expert. Mr. Bixby turned into a woman over the weekend.
That's talent right there.
Man,
no.
Tell us what you observed at the autopsy.
I don't think I can.
Yeah.
At the autopsy on the 30th, I was simply present for the purpose of collecting material for chemical analysis, whatever. And I received from medical examiner Founts and Dr. Whitney together the stomach contents of Miss Gibbs, the liver, the heart, the spleen, and the kidneys, and the brain, or a portion of it. They were in an excellent state of preservation, because remember, they dug her up. And
Yeah.
to prevent them from undergoing any further decomposition, I added alcohol. I would have added some alcohol too, sir. At that time, some of my own alcohol.
Absolutely.
Which I carry with me, which I knew to be absolutely pure. Distilled it myself back in the woods and sealed them up and took them to my laboratory in Boston the next day. I examined them in due course, analyzed the stomach contents and part of the liver for poison. And I also took a portion of the embalming fluid and examined and analyzed that. The embalming fluid was composed of arsenic, corrosive sublimate, and formalin. And, of course, yes. There was water and some glycerin. There were no organic poisons present that I was able to detect in the stomach and in the liver. I found comparatively large quantity of morphine. The amount of morphine was present to such an extent that I was easily able to obtain the solid crystals of morphine from both the stomach and the liver. In the presence of morphine in the liver showed that it must have been absorbed from the stomach before death. Then, on August 13th, I received from Dr. Latta, now deceased, a quantity of urine, which I sipped, and then he told me...
I knew that.
It's the way you said urine. Urine.
Which he told me was the urine of Miss Gibbs. And I examined that and found in the evidence of congestion of the kidneys, there was no evidence of any Bright's disease or any organic disease of the kidneys. There was evidence of some congestion of the kidneys, as has been testified to by Dr. Whitney.
And what caused that?
Well, one of the principal causes, aside from the natural causes, is poisoning by narcotic poison, of which opium is one, and morphine is a constituent of opium. There are other effectual poisons that would also have the same effect. Strychnine will do it.
Wow, Tracy's like, wow, he's a chatty Cathy.
Is this his great-grandfather or something?
The way you said urine was like a little kid trying to say legs. They're like, yeggs, my yeggs.
Did he drink it?
I said he did. Sorry that you're eating lunch and I read that. But it is still good to see you.
I've been in multiple chats where they talk about stuff like, yeah, I'm not hungry anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
You found some morphine in the liver? That must have been absorbed before death. How long before death?
Well, it might have only been 5 minutes before, and it might have been anywhere within several hours or a day or two. Morphine generally requires 12 hours from the elimination of the major portion of it, when the patient remains in a condition of health after the administration of a single medicinal dose. It is nearly all one in 12, I think that's supposed to say gone, in 12 hours.
From what you saw, had this been taken within 12 hours of the death of the patient?
Within 24 hours.
Did you discover any atropine?
I have not.
Suppose an atropine had been given, would it be possible to have it disappear?
Good grief, does he ever just give short answers? The portion of the atropine given with the morphine is so small that it might have escaped detection. And another fact about atropine is that it does not withstand the purification of the tissues as long as morphine. It is destroyed by the putrefaction? What? That's not purification.
Putrefaction.
Whatever. Putrefaction.
Whatever. Destroyed by the whatever.
Whatever of the tissues. But the proportion, which is always present in most of the medicinal preparations, is 1/4 of a grain of morphine sulfate to 1/60th of a grain of atropine sulfate. So the portion is small.
Whether the quantity of morphine which you discovered was sufficient to cause the death of Miss Gibbs?
It was sufficient to show a large dose of morphine. We never find a fatal dose of any single portion of the body. I analyzed only 1 pound of tissue from 140 pounds of body.
Why would you say it like that?
Oh,
That's so awkward. It's like when you ask somebody, they're like, how much does it weigh? And they're like, from England or something, they're like 27 stone, like 140-pound of body.
A body.
Oh my god, that was great. Whether you found anything that was inconsistent with the death caused by morphine and atropine?
It was thoroughly consistent with death caused by morphine. Hello, Squid.
Hey, Squid. You just missed it.
Hey, Squid.
I don't know if she did or didn't.
no, it's just on time. You're right on time, girl. Come on in.
Oh, Lord. Taking what you found in the past, in the post-mortem condition, the condition of the organs that you had, and the quantity of the morphine you discovered, what would you attribute the death of Miss Gibbs?
To a poisoning by morphine.
40-pound of body? No.
140-pound of body. Thank you, Squid, for the rate. I appreciate it.
Maybe you get to hear me be a woman again. That was
27 stones of person. Were there any other evident causes of it?
No, sir. And that's the end of me. Thank you, Lord.
Kelly, you're up.
I'm up.
Yep. Your name, sir?
Benjamin Waters.
And what is your business?
Druggist.
Where?
On the corner.
It's your
Oh,
mama's house.
you know how to say that?
Waham.
Nope. Wareham.
That's how I
Wareham.
would have said it, but I figured it was
Wareham.
wrong. Wareham? Like you wear ham?
Wayham.
That is in Barnstable County,
Plymouth.
Plymouth County, a few miles north of this place.
Yep.
Do you know Jane Toppan?
Nope, I do not.
Then why the hell are you here? Why the hell are anybody here? Nobody knows this dang woman.
And the one doctor that did, he's dead.
I right, Dr. Latta.
Dr. Letta said, see you later.
Have you ever had any communication from her?
Over the telephone only.
So you did know her.
We had some telephone sex one
Never
time.
mind. That's just my brain saying.
Well,
Oh
she
my
was
God.
jolly, so that
She was.
probably happened.
Had this been 1981 instead of 1901, it probably would have
She just didn't know that she could charge $2.99 a minute.
been
Oh, man. Well, tell us what that was.
One moment. Chief
That's
Flashband.
right.
Oh, who am I? Oh, yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Where am
Oh,
I?
I gave him a Grandpa something, boy. Hold on. You want to, will you zoom, please?
Yeah.
You want to identify it before you put it in at all?
Did the person who telephoned you give any name?
Object.
That is preliminary only.
What name was it?
Jane Toppan.
Did she say where she was?
Condiment.
And give any other address?
No.
Any particular place in Katimat?
No.
What date was this? Do you know?
This was about July the 19th.
And did this same party afterwards communicate with you?
She did.
And what was said at the time by her in regard to who it was?
Same chick. Jane Toppan.
That's literally how we should be reading this because it is a nest. So Kelly's right, but we're not.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm taking artistic liberties over here. Sorry.
Did she
That's
say anything about the address then?
No.
Tell you anything about how to send it?
Yes.
What did she say about that?
Send it to Condiment.
Say anything about the others that you had already sent?
Yes.
Wait, did we even talk about what she was sending?
Not
No.
yet. We'll get
okay.
there.
I was so confused. I was like, did I
No.
read that? And I just...
I mean, it's very backwards of how we would see it
Yeah.
now.
The courts are very slow. Were very slow back then. Now they be like, can we get some objection like a foundation?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about sending her? What? And, we haven't got there yet, Judge. We'll get there.
Objection like a foundation, irrelevant.
I object to this whole transcript. Thank you very much. What did she say?
Okay, what she said? She said the others had spoiled. Run together. I think that was the words.
Ask you to send it any different in any different way?
Yes.
How did she ask you to send it?
So as to protect it from happening again.
In a glass instead of a wooden box?
No, I don't think the glass was mentioned.
Did you send the second lot?
I did.
How did you send that?
By express.
And to what address?
Miss Jane Toppan, Condiment.
It seems to me, Your Honor, it's qualified.
It seems to me, Your Honor, there's no evidence here at all to identify the party who was telephoning as the defendant. Did you ever hear the voice before?
I agree. I agree with this person. There's not. What is even happening?
Apparently, the defense staff thought, like, none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
That's you, Kelly.
Oh, I'm sorry, where are we?
I said,
It seems to me, Your Honor.
did you ever hear the voice before?
No, not that I recall of.
You never met her?
Nope.
Seems to me there's no identification at all. If the court please, and it should all be stricken out.
I do not think there is.
I would like to ask, was it sent COD?
It was.
And whether you got the money on the return?
Yes.
Hey, Haley.
Do you expect to
Hey,
connect
Haley.
by a subsequent witness the delivery of the package so addressed to this defendant?
I expect to connect by the defendant's statement that she did buy morphine.
With that assurance, you may go on.
Tell us what you did send July 1900 to Jane Toppan.
5 dozen quarter grain morphine pills.
Dang!
Told you she was standing on
60
the
morphine pills?
Yes.
1/4 grain?
Yep.
And July 30th. How many?
Same quantity.
Those you said were sent COD and you received the return?
Yes.
All right, Flash Fan.
You're out of here.
All right.
Go, Mr. Waters.
All right. What is your name?
What do you have? My name is Charles R. Robertson.
You are a druggist?
Yes, sir. In Falmouth.
Thomas.
AJ, do you know Jane Toppan?
I can't swear that I do.
Why do they even call these people if they don't know her?
I don't know.
Do you understand your answer, sir?
I do not understand. Do you know it or do you not?
You asked me if I knew her. I say I cannot swear that I do.
Do you know her by sight?
I wouldn't swear that I do.
Has she ever been in your store, to your knowledge, and bought anything?
I have an idea that she may have.
Will you say whether she was or not?
Well, it would be impossible to swear to it on account of having so many strangers in the store during the season. I have nothing to go by, any memorandum to be positive of it.
Do you remember whether or not she ran a summer school in the summer of 1900?
I do not, guess, know any more than what I have heard spoken of it since.
Maybe.
Oh.
Oops, you took it down. I was trying to
Clicked it on the same one. We clicked at the same time. You're just looking. Do you remember whether she came in last summer to your place to purchase something?
I am of the impression that she did. I think I had occasion for someone in the store to take her name for some reason or other. I don't know what.
Do you know what she purchased?
It seems to me there's no identification.
I think the evidence must be stronger before you put in what you now desire to offer.
Can you describe Miss Toppan as she looked then, if it was she?
No, sir, I
No.
could not, because I didn't know who it was when she was in the store to be positive what her name was. Okay, I'm not
Do you know whether or not it was the defendant here?
I could not swear to
Get the heck out of the chair then. Christ.
it.
Well, we will also show, if Your Honor pleases, by a statement of the defendant that she did purchase things from Mr. Robinson.
That isn't sufficient, Your Honor, to merely show that she purchased things.
I will identify them, only I thought you objected to my stating them.
If you can identify by matter which can be put into supplement what the witness now says and connect the defendant, then the evidence is admissible.
I think I can, Your Honor.
Well,
Well,
Well, can you
that's all I got. No ruling.
can you state, Mr. Robinson, that it was this person that you think may have been Miss Toppan purchased?
I couldn't state positively, no, sir.
Can you state it at all?
I have a very vague impression because
Well,
the answer of the witness is struck out.
oh, whoops. Kelly, you want to be the Attorney General?
Oh, I won't press it at all, Your Honor. I won't press it along these lines at all.
And now
The
this is
end of him. Oh,
Okay,
yes, my turn.
you're up. Your name, sir?
My name is O.A. Brigham. Brigham.
Brigham.
Brigham.
And you reside where, Mr. Brigham?
Lowell, Massachusetts.
What is your occupation?
I'm a depot master at the Boston and Maine Railroad.
Well, hey, let's, the red line's a mess. Can you fix it? Jeez.
I'll try.
Do you know Jane Toppan?
Yes, sir.
Finally!
Woohoo!
How
Yeah,
long?
finally somebody knows her.
How long
Real quick.
have you known her?
Well, some 35 or 8 years, somewhere along there. Okay.
35 or 8?
Or 8.
That's a big gap. What was the occasion of your first becoming acquainted with her?
She came to live at my house, or our house at that time.
How old was she, if you know, at the time?
I should judge some 4 or 5 years old.
And have you known her ever since?
Yes, sir.
No, I forgot her.
Duh. Derp derp derp. Since arriving at, what the heck does that say?
Maturity.
Oh, why does it look like it's weird? Like the R doesn't look like an R. Anyway, it's probably my brain.
Don't know.
Since arriving at
You could say
maturity,
since becoming a woman.
yes, since becoming a young lady, what has been her business or occupation?
Her business?
Yes.
She's been a nurse.
How long has she been a nurse? Do you know?
Well, I don't know exactly. I should judge some 18 or 20 years.
Wow, so you think about that 18 or 20 years, that's a long time. Like that whole time, like that's crazy.
I wonder when she went off the deep end within that.
Yeah. I think it gave like I think it was like the mid 1800s when she started, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Did she go through any training for that you know of?
No, we just gave her some needles and some morphine, and off she went to off people. Sorry. Yes, she went to the Massachusetts.
Massachusetts General Hospital?
As I was going to say, Massachusetts General Hospital. I think it is, yes. She was at Cambridge Hospital also, but I think the training was at Massachusetts General.
Do you recall last August, Mr. Brigham?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall last summer Miss Toppan coming to your house after the death of Miss Gibbs?
Yes, sir.
What day did she come there? Do you know about? If you cannot give us an exact date about.
Well, I should say about the 27th day of August.
Did she say anything to you about deaths at the Cape about?
Yes.
Mrs. Gibbs' death, for instance?
Oh, yes.
What did she say about Miss Gibbs' death?
Well, said she was a very frail woman and she died very suddenly. Sort of collapsed. I cannot remember her conversation exactly what she said.
Were you there when uh, Genevieve? Well, should I not even say that?
General.
Oh, I was thinking they were. Never mind. General Whitney called on Miss Toppan.
Yes, sir.
Did you talk to her? Did you talk? Did you hear her talk between them?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what it was?
Well, he questioned her about the case, told her he wished her to tell it in her own language, in her own way, and he didn't want to question her, but have to her tell it as she knew it. And she told us, and she told her story to him. Why are they so confusing?
I don't know. Do you remember what she said caused the death of Miss Gibbs, as far as she knew?
Well, she thought that, as I remember it, I should say she thought she was sort of worked out, used up physically. Wow.
Ooh.
Was
That's not very
anything
nice.
was anything said in your presence about an autopsy?
Yes.
Was that Miss Brigham? What was that, Miss Brigham? Mr. Brigham? I don't know.
Something. Well, Mr. Whitney asked her if she didn't think it would be a good thing to have an autopsy on the body because people down on the Cape were very much worked up about it. And he also turned to me and asked if I didn't think so. I told him that I thought it would be a good idea.
Had she made any answer before you answered that she thought about it?
I think she fell in with the idea.
Do you recall whether she answered him before you did or not?
Well, I couldn't say under oath that she did or didn't.
Where were you present when Dr. Lathrop?
Lathrop, I think.
Lathrop? Lathrop?
I had a
Whatever.
teacher named Lathrop at 5th grade. I think that's how she spelled it. Not that it matters. You say it how you want.
Right. Dr. Lathrop was there and the defendant had talked with him about certain poisons.
Yes, sir.
What was that talk?
She asked him if a body was embalmed after it, if a body had been poisoned and died and then was embalmed, if those poisonous drugs would be found if they exhumed the body, that is, had an autopsy.
And did she mention any special poison?
She named over several.
Can you recall any?
No, I don't know that I could. I remember the answer the doctor made was that if they were mineral poison, they would be in the body, but if they were a vegetable, they would be absorbed. That's the way I remember it.
Absorbed.
Absorbed.
Absorbed. Whether or not she asked about certain specific poisons by name?
I think she did. I think she named over several.
How many times does this guy need to hear the same sentence? Do you remember their names? For God's sake, that Mr. Burns said no. Asked and answered.
No, sir, I couldn't tell you. I am not acquainted with the names of those druggist drugs, and I couldn't state them.
Druggist drugs. Let me ask you if you heard the word morphine was used.
I think so.
Imagine if they had computers back then. What would her Google search look like?
Morphine.
She'd have been in jail a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like how this witness is like, I can't name him. And then he's like, well, did you hear morphine? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
And if the word atropine was used?
I wouldn't state for that.
Strychnine?
Yes, I think strychnine was mentioned.
Strychnine and morphine. You do not remember atropine?
I guess
Oh,
no.
now was Miss Toppan ill at your house?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
I think it was, I wouldn't be positive about the day of the month, but it was on Sunday of the 29th, about the 29th.
It was in a month, but it was on the 29th of whatever month,
And I don't know about the day, but it was on Sunday.
and it was at 2 p.m. on a
But I don't know
windy
when
day.
it was.
With these types of questions today, whether she looked guilty or not, she would have been acquitted a long time ago.
I know. And she was in the adjacent room by the basement,
Not
across
that
the
room,
hall.
the annex to that room.
Yes,
Yes,
the
and the
annex,
annex.
adjacent annex to that room.
Did you hear what she said? No. Do you know what she said? Yes.
With reference to General Whitney's visit,
Sometime after General Whitney's.
within 2 or 3 days or months. I don't know.
Was it within the last year? No, it was right away after that.
Tell us what you know about that sickness.
One moment, I object. I do not see how this is material of this witness at this stage.
I agree with you, Mr. Bixby.
And no ruling by the judge.
Nope.
Judge fell asleep.
Yeah.
He like, whoa, what's going on?
Basically. Fell asleep with a donut in his mouth.
He be sleeping, but objection. Don't say nothing. Objection. Overruled.
or be like Mr. Swift, well, I didn't mean to, and I'll just carry on.
Did she say anything in your presence that would indicate that she caused her sickness?
No, sir, not in my presence. She did not.
Or what she caused, sorry. What day of the week was it that she was sick?
On Sunday.
About what time of day?
Well, it was after dinner, around 1 or 2 o'clock, or 3.
Did she eat dinner with you? What did she have for dinner? What did she have before she went to sleep? Did she go to the bathroom? How did she go to the bathroom?
She didn't eat dinner with me, sir.
Did you speak to her about dinner? Holy, what the? What did you say?
She said she did not wish for any dinner.
Oh my God. Where was she at that time?
She was in the room with the bed. In the bed.
Did she say anything else?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said she wanted I should call Mrs. Sanborn and call a lawyer.
Ooh. Did you call Mrs. Sanborn?
Now I object. I do not see if the court pleases how this is competent upon the issue.
And then the judge just like looks at them with the side eye and be like, "Shut up, Mr. Bigsby," because he didn't say anything.
He said nothing.
I won't press it. Did you discover anything after as to whether Miss Toppan was sick or not?
The doctor was called, and I only know what I was told after that.
You summons the doctor?
Yes, sir.
Whether there was a second occasion when Miss Toppan was ill?
The second occasion was the next. Now I object. I meant my objection to go this whole evidence in regard to the sickness.
Simmer down, Mr. Bixby, Jesus. Only that she was ill. If Your Honor, please, we will
Please.
show afterwards by another witness that the illness was, if you please.
Do you expect to prove an attempt to commit self-deletion?
Yes, sir.
What date?
At this time.
It is excluded.
When did Miss Toppan leave your house after this time you had the talk with her? How long after that?
September 1st.
Oh, do you know where she went?
She went to Lowell General Hospital.
That is all, Mr. Brigham.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Lord Jesus above. Thank you, baby
Fine.
Jesus. Thank you.
The witness that knew a little bit more than the other witnesses, but still didn't know anything.
But he
Right.
still knew Miss Jane Toppan, so that was good at least. We're getting somewhere.
And he
Right.
also knew, I couldn't say what day, but it was on Sunday.
Yeah, but it could have been
After
at
dinner.
4:30, 5:30, or 6:30.
And he could have known her for 35 or 8 years.
But he did know it was 140 pound of body. Okay, Dr. Lathrop, you're up. What's your name, Doctor?
Aha. William H. Lathrop,
Where do you reside?
Lowell, Massachusetts.
You did last August? Did what
Oh, yes.
last August?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, maybe he like lived in Lowell last August or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Everything
I'm
last
trying-
August.
This
I'm trying
attorney
to-
ties nothing together.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sense of something that just doesn't make sense.
I
It's
did it
1901.
all
What do you
last
expect?
August.
General T. This is alternate jurors channel. She covered cases, trials, but now she covers cases, and she wants to tell more. She can. This is that's one of Squid's mods, Asia.
Oh, General T's? Well, hello, General T.
Yeah.
My channel is probably, I guess, new in the scheme of new channels. I've just been streaming just over a year. I changed up what I was doing at the beginning of this year because I don't have time to cover trials. So we were covering some back in the day infamous serial unalivers. This one is from 1901. These are actual court transcripts of Jolly Jane's trial. And so we've just been reading through them. And that's why they sound so crazy, because it's from 1901 and they didn't talk like we talk today. And it's hard to read sometimes. Also, they don't have to connect anything like they do today.
I'm surprised there's not a lot of D's and thous in this transcript.
Of course it. So, well, thank you. Thank you for being here. So, we might be struggling, and that's why we're making jokes, because
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and nobody knows anything and knows everything all at the same time.
Basically. All right, ready?
Yep.
You are a practicing physician of how many years standing?
About 35.
In general practice of medicine, 35 years?
Yes, sir.
Here's the famous question, y'all. Do you know Jane Toppan?
Oops. Spoiler alert.
Ding, ding, ding.
Sorry,
Yes,
I'm-
sir. I have been acquainted with her for several years.
You just won yourself a new car.
Wait a chicken dinner.
How long?
Here we go, though. Here we go.
Yeah, we laugh at each other. I laugh at myself. We just laugh.
Fun
Alright,
community.
Everything is funny.
Right over there.
How long do you know?
Well, I can't remember anything definite about it. Perhaps 10 years?
Instant
2 years?
amnesia.
2 years,
Instant
2 years.
amnesia.
Ah.
You were summoned to attend her.
I was.
Can you give us the date last summer sometime? Oh, my Lord.
It was the 29th to the 30th of September, 1901,
Where was she?
at the Brigham House.
Tell us what you found, doctor, when you got there.
Object.
Did she taste? Shut it down, Dr. Bixby. Did she state anything to you, doctor, in regards to her condition? What caused it?
I object.
We cannot say
Oh,
what
yeah, long one,
providence
Flashman.
or this alleged statement made by the prisoner will have. It is claimed by the Commonwealth it was a statement made by her and made after the event. We think upon the ground it is admissible, but if on the other hand it is in the nature of a confession, we shall be bound to state to the jury that it had no probative force unless she knew that she was suspected of the alleged homicide.
He must
Which
have just clocked in.
all of this takes place in front of the jury.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Miss Toppan state to you at the time any cause of her sickness?
She made no secret of the fact that she
State what she said.
said she wanted to die.
Well,
Did she say anything about having taken anything?
Yep, she did.
What did she say?
She said that she had taken something, but she just declined to state what it was. I asked her a great many times, but she declined to state what it was.
What did she say about not wishing to live? What were her words, if you remember?
Several times she made the statement that she did not wish to live.
Did she give any reason why she did not wish to?
Nope, she didn't.
And in what condition was she when you found her? Describe the symptoms of her condition.
There were two occasions. The first time she was not fully unconscious, but she was very sleepy, evidently under the influence of a narcotic poison, and she recovered from that under the influence of
I have no idea.
emetic.
I have no idea.
And subsequently, the next day, she was very much worse when I found her. She was then narcotized and could not swallow.
That's when you take narcotics, but it just knocks you out.
Wow. Who knew?
We would probably call that zombified.
Or gacked, I don't know. She could not swallow. Her lower jaw was dropped, and her nose was pinched, and her face was livid, and she had
Oh, whoopsies.
AJ, hello.
stertorous breathing.
That's AJ's. That's
Sorry.
AJ's way of saying
It freaked out.
She's just like, woo!
Sorry.
She's like, narcotics, wee!
There was that. It keeps.
That was
I get a blurred line at the bottom, and I
got that too.
Generally, if I just scroll down, it'll go away. But then it just like freaked out this time. So sorry. Wait. Narcotized. What a southern one for sure. Well, the sad thing is, General T, this took place in Massachusetts. We just made it southern.
Yeah. And we're fine with that.
What is that?
Heavy, strong breathing.
From what you observed, was there anything inconsistent with morphine having been taken?
That is what I thought morphine.
Is this admissible under your rule?
I think not. We are not trying that issue.
I'm just being the cat.
That is all. Whee!
Whee!
Is this me?
It is.
How
Maybe you
the
should
heck did
make
you
it
say
a. Maybe you should make a Mr. Whitney a woman.
that? Is that? Oh, that's his last name. Okay, how do you pronounce his last name?
Or
I mean,
because
first
remember
name.
you wanted to make it Whitney Houston.
I don't know how to do her voice.
He just like sings the whole time. She just sings every answer.
I don't know how to say. I don't know if that first name is it Jophanus?
You're famous. That's what I would say.
Okay.
What is your name?
Jaffanus H. Whitney.
That you said something totally different than what I thought.
I
I heard the word anus.
Oh,
Oh,
Haley wants to know if you can sing the gospel, Flashman. I think that answer
the
is
entire
yes.
gospel? Probably not. Probably not. Did the God of Mercy did that one? That's over 4 books. That's wow. That's a lot.
Are you a member of the state police force?
I am.
You did some work on the Toppan case.
Yes.
Did you call at Mr. Brigham's in relation to this matter after Miss Gibbs' death?
On the 26th of August, 1901.
Did you have a talk with Miss Toppan?
I did.
What was it?
I called. Oh wow. My voice is sound like
I was like, Flashman, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard, Flashman.
I called at the house. She stood in the front entry. I introduced myself and passed her my official card as a member of the Massachusetts District Police. She invited me in, and I explained to her that I had been at Cantonment and Kennedy investigating the death of the Davis family.
Did that include Miss Gibbs?
All these long sentences. Miss Gibbs was the daughter of Mr. Davis. And it was
Oh, come on, Flashman, read it as a woman.
I told her that in my investigation, there was more than this talk in reference to the death. And she was the only one that I could ascertain who had attended each one of the family. I had come to her and asked her to tell me in this form of the sicknesses of the 4 people who had died. Miss Davis, Mrs. Gordon, Mr. Davis, and Gibbs. And
I'm crying
about Miss Davis over at her house at Cambridge.
I'm crying. I'm literally crying.
That last one kind of ruined my voice. Well, this one might
Flashman, you should only read in that voice. It makes my day every time.
yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Okay. Never mind, Miss Davis, with references to Miss Gibbs.
Never mind that her parents died. We're just never mind. Never mind that we think that this defendant also offed her parents.
They like, nah, just know that fact.
It's okay. It's okay.
With Miss Gibbs, she told me that after her father's death, that Mr. Gordon and Miss Gibbs set up late nights and were examining the papers in the 2 different deaths, preparatory to having the matter brought before the probate court, which met the following Tuesday, I think after Mr. Davis's death, and that she was taking sick. Okay. That she was taking sick one evening, or as she explained it to me, that on the evening prior to her death, that Mr. Gordon and Mrs. Gibbs were in the room examining the papers. Mrs. Gibbs and Mr. Gordon were there when she retired, and that before retiring, she urged Minnie, as she called her, kind of what I sound like, Minnie Mouse, meaning Miss Gibbs to retire. And I think that Mr. spoke up and told her to let her alone. That later she went in and found Mrs. Gibbs and Mr. Gordon asleep in the room. One in part of the room on the sofa, and another in another part of the room on the sofa. And she, how
Because
long
it
is she
just
gonna
keeps
talk
going. It just keeps going on and on.
To her to retire at the time. Then Miss Toppan retired to her room and went in again about 2:30 and was
There's like no periods.
and she went to Miss Jacobs and
Good Lord.
wanted her to get up and go down and assist her. And Miss Jacobs got up and went down with her, and they tried to arouse Miss Gibbs and could not. That she
I'm
would
lost.
moan and speak about Dr. Harry or somebody else,
It's
and
at the
would
bottom, AJ.
head
Okay,
over
sorry.
on Mr. Gordon's shoulder. How long are you gonna talk? Finally, Mr. Gordon take her in his arm and carry her to her bed, and Miss Jacobs and Miss Toppan disrobed her, okay, and wrapped her up in a blanket that her lower limbs were quite cold. That Dr. Ladder was sent for early the next morning, and that she was unconscious from that on until her death, which was in the afternoon of the following day. Oh, God dang it.
That was so funny. It just kept going. Like, it was like,
I was expecting a dad break. I
Oh,
that was hilarious.
There was like no pauses.
AJ's like, here, Flash fan, read as a woman. By the way, it's the rest of the transcript. Thank you.
I didn't know. I didn't know. But when it said Minnie was perfect. Well, what did Minnie come home and find you doing, Mickey? Wow, babe. You don't have to read like that anymore. You don't want to, Flashy.
It's not long as so far it's not that long anymore.
That was funny.
Until we get to another.
Did she state to you any definite cause for Miss Gibbs' death?
She mentioned this fact to me that Dr. Ladder claimed it was exhaustion. I asked her in reference to the heart, and she said her heart appeared strong.
Was anything said in that conversation about an autopsy?
No, sir. Yes, there was too. What? No, sir. What is it? While I was talking with her, Mr. Brigham came. I am a little ahead of my story. You do not wish me to testify to anything only in relation to Miss Gibbs at this time?
Miss Gibbs?
Can't do that. No, sir. Yes, there was.
I did mention the fact of the feeling of the people in the vicinity when Miss Gibbs had died and suggested the propriety of having an autopsy. I said if these people died from natural causes, it would be better for all parties concerned. Don't you think it would be better? Instead of answering me, she said, "What do you think, Mr. Brigham?" Mr. Brigham replied that he thought it would be better to have the autopsy and then it would settle the matter. And then she said, I don't know, but what it would. I don't know, but what it would. That was practically all that was said in reference to an autopsy.
I can't, you know what? This witness remembers the most out of all the witnesses. Just didn't know he remembered, and then he remembered it instantly. No,
I don't remember, but there was two. Do you remember any further talk at the time with Miss Toppan?
At that interview?
Yes.
There might have been, but I cannot bring it to mind at present.
Did you afterwards see her?
I did.
Well,
On October 29th at Pona, New Hampshire.
oh, here we go. Ready? What took place then?
Uh-oh, it's never small.
Uh-oh, there's a typo in there too, Flashman.
I was
Sorry.
shown to the room. She, uh-huh, Mr. George
Sorry.
Nine Nichols.
George Nine Nichols. Hey
Who
there.
stopping? He and his sister. I went to the room and explained to her that I had a warrant for her arrest. She asked me why she was arrested before she had an opportunity to give her evidence. I then informed her that autopsies had been held on all the parties in the Davis family who had deceased, okay, and that large quantities of morphine had been found in their persons, and that as she was absent from the state, I had secured a fugitive warrant from the New Hampshire authorities and would have to take her in custody.
Where did you go?
We then took a cab and drove to Nasha, New Hampshire. I took her to the police station, and consequence of what I knew,
I felt so bad for you, Flashman. It's
what
like
I
This
knew
guy has no short answers to anything.
Hold on, messed my cursor up. To that, I went and made arrangement with the nation of the police station to stay up with her all night. And in the morning, at her request, I purchased a veil for her and some other little things. And she was taken into court. Before going into court, she expressed her willingness to return without recognition papers. In consequence of which she was taken into court. And I made it known to the court, and the court not
That is not a typo. That is actually what it said because I looked.
hold on, it took me back to and the court no pros that warrant, and she came to Boston with me.
Did you have any talk with her about that matter?
I did.
What did she say about the Mary Gibbs case?
Do you wish me to confine myself strictly to Mrs. Gibbs' case or the conversation she made with me at that time about herself and Miss Gibbs?
Because you know this guy had a lot to tell.
Yes.
And he needed to tell it.
Oh, shoot.
Here we go.
Oh my.
Tell us what she said about herself and Miss Gibbs.
While we were driving, to Nashville, she asked me if she would need a lawyer. I said, "You certainly will. It is a very serious matter for you, and the best lawyer you can get will be none too good for you." She then asked if the Commonwealth would furnish a lawyer. I explained to her if she had no means that in capital cases that the court will furnish a lawyer for her defense. After we had left Nashville on the train, she referred to Dr. Latter's death. I then mentioned to her the fact that in conversation with Dr. Latter that he had told me that he had not prescribed morphine in any form to either of the family, and she replied, no, he knowing the particulars and conditions of the family would not prescribe morphine. I then remarked to her, I ascertained where you did purchase morphine. She asked me where, and I said, you purchased morphine. I was told by Mr. Robinson at Pharma. She said, yes, I did.
What Robinson do you mean?
Charles Robinson, the only druggist Robinson I know in Pharma.
Did she state that she did buy and how much?
I said, you bought one bottle of morphine? tablets, either a combination of morphine tablets and atropine, or straight morphine tablets.
Flashman, did you think that she was just going to stop at morphine?
No,
Or
I had to scroll down. It was on.
or just say, yeah, she bought some morphine.
Did you state the amount?
I mentioned the fact that Mr. Robinson said that there were 100 tablets in the bottle. That's not. And she said she had, and she also said she bought Hyundai and Hyundai and a number of other articles at the same time. That word will always mess me up. Oh, look, another long sentence.
So Hunyadi, for those of you that haven't been here the whole time, is Hunyadi water. It's very bitter, and it has a laxative effect to it. So she also liked to give her victims Hunyadi water.
I could say so much about that, but okay.
Oh, yes, we learned a lot.
Did you share? No, sorry. Do you? I don't know why I said that.
Because he's going to share.
Do you or she? Did you or she state the date?
I do not think I did. I also said to her, Mr. Robinson remembered of your coming there and informed her that I had her photograph to exhibit to Dr. Robinson. She said, yes, I cut off. Prioritized the place the year before when I kept the summer school at Falmouth, and I always used to trade with the proprietor himself. I then mentioned the fact that we had ascertained that she had purchased morphine tablets of a druggist at Wareham. She said she did, and she explained it in this way, that Miss Gibbs wanted her to purchase them, and was particular to have her purchase them of the proprietor himself, so that she telephoned for them from Mr. Irving's or Irving's grocery store at County. The first quantity was sent in a wooden box, and on account of the heat, they had melted and run together and were practically useless. That she afterwards telephoned for the same quantity again and suggested that they be sent in glass instead of wood, as the others were useless on account of running together. I like how he asked her only one question, or him only one question in that bed.
And he knows. One, it's hilarious that you're reading this as a woman, because it is like a nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
Who knows everything that you have done. And
he's like,
more.
Did you see Gladys last week? Did you see what she did to her tire?
It was like 2 p.m., but I don't know what day it was. It was on Sunday.
That nosy neighbor. Like, Mr. Cochran did across the street. He put his trash cans out at 6 o'clock. When in fact, every night he put the trash cans out at 7.
But that witness knows more than both of the pharmacist, druggist, whatever, that they asked how they got that morphine to her. That witness knows way more than them. And Flashman, I forgot. I missed a judge. It's right underneath this next thing that Mr. Swift says. It didn't get highlighted blue.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see you.
Those were the statements we referred to in regard to Miss Waters.
Yes.
That's it.
God dang.
Judge,
why did I don't think that's supposed
why can't Mr. Whitney have those sorts of
I don't think that's supposed to be.
Oh.
Mr. Bixby is just like, I object. The judge says nothing.
Maybe it is. I don't know because this doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Yes.
Anything further said about Miss Gibbs' death?
Not about her death. There was something said about poison she used when she attempted to do away with herself on 2 different occasions while she was at Mr. Brigham's house.
What did she say about that?
Mr. Muffet, he's another defense attorney. Is that not excluded?
State anything she said following the rule. In coming down from Nashville, I remarked to her
That change was flawless. That was a perfect.
One thing puzzled me in reference to her. She said, "What is that?" I informed her that it seems singular to me that after she had attempted to destroy her life, that she would refuse to tell the attending physician what she had taken. She smiled and said, "I will tell you why. If I was not successful, I wanted an opportunity to try it again." I asked her if it was some poison that she had purchased at Wareham or Falmouth, and she answered in the affirmative. And then hold on, things being weird. Then I said straight morphine, and she said yes.
Did you subsequently have a talk with her in the jail here at Barnstable?
Yes, sir. November 14th, 1901. I can't know you.
She was like, it was at 2:30 p.m. You want to know what she was wearing? Because I remember that too. Did she state then anything about Miss Gibbs' death? What caused it?
No, sir. You asked if I stated anything.
Did she?
I don't know.
Wait, so those were all the things because you asked if I stated anything? Oh, man.
What in the world?
I have no idea. Did you
I'm
have
so
any?
lost right now.
Did you have any talk with her about it?
There was no one of the people that had died specified. It was spoken to me in a general way without either one of the names of the deceased being mentioned.
What was said?
I first went to the jail and asked Mr. Cash to inform Miss Toppan that I was there and would like some information as to what of her effect she would like to have me sent to her at the jail. Mr. Cash went and soon after returned. If you will pardon me, shall I tell what replied Mr. Cash made?
Holy Googamonga. We just went through all of that, and now we're going to talk about what she wants in jail.
And her name is misspelled.
Yeah, sorry. It auto-corrected to that, and I tried to catch him, but
Miss Toppan.
I happened.
Was Miss Toppan there?
No.
In consequence of what she said to Mr. Cash, I declined to go and further ask to see her, and I sat there in the office talking.
Oopsies. That's
Yeah, I was
not
gonna
you.
say that's-
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Cash.
Where do I start it?
Where you said no, and then you gave a big long answer. It says Mr. Swift, but it says in consequence of.
Oh, okay. In consequence of what she said to Mr. Cash, I declined to go and further ask to see her. And I sat there in the office talking to Mr. Lepney. My cursor is
Lutney.
Lutney and Mr. Cash for a few moments. And then Mr. Cash went out and finally returned and said to me, Miss Toppan would like to see you. And I then requested Mr. Cash to accompany me so as to be present.
Mr. Cash, the keeper of the jail?
Yes, sir. I then went into the cell room and told her that I had not come to see her in reference to anything pertaining to her case, that I had no question to ask her in reference to it, but simply wanted to know what of her wearing appeal she wished me to send her, and I ascertained what she wanted me to send her, and then retired. Made no mention about a case in any way whatsoever. We then retired from the cell room to the office. Mr. Letney, Mr. Cash, and myself sat there smoking. Wait, yeah, smoking and chatting. Then Mrs. Cash, a short time afterwards, came to the door and informed her husband that Miss Toppan would like to see Mr. Whitney if he was still there. Mr. Cash and I then returned to the cell room, and she asked me if Dr. Walcott or anyone else had informed me or made any conversation with me that she was an opium fiend. I said, Miss Toppan, if anyone has told you that I have made any talk about morphine or atropine or anything of that kind, they have informed you falsely. For I myself personally have never seen any evidence of your being a morphine fiend. Then she asked me what this was in reference to arsenic, as I understood her. What the story was in reference to arsenic, I declined to talk with her, then informed her that Mr. Holmes had instructed me not to make any conversation in reference to the case.
Okay, all that was asked when he said, "Do you know Mr. Cash, the keeper of the the keeper of the
Yeah.
jail?"
Yep. That's
And said yes.
crazy.
And then now it's going to ask another simple question, and we're going to go on and on and on.
Exactly, Haley.
The urge just been flash fan flowers and chocolates. It is Valentine's season.
Mr. Holmes, then being district attorney?
Yes, sir. She then replied, if it was morphine, I know nothing about arsenic. If it was morphine or atropine, I might plead guilty if I was not. And then she made a remark. She said, I have nothing to live for, and I have nothing to interest me on anything to live for. I then replied to her that she ought not to feel that way, that she was the party who had the most interest in the matter, and she ought to keep her courage and immediately withdraw, ceasing to have any further conversation with her. That is practically the conversation that took place on the 14th of November, 1901. Irrelevant. Oh, thank God.
Flash fan, bravo, bravo.
Bravo, Flash fan. Also, what a perfect witness to read as a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so
I
who's
mean-
Mr. Parker now?
Oh.
I would be.
That is the Attorney General.
Oh, okay. So that's Kelly.
Oh, okay.
She can. It's still the Commonwealth. So, yep.
Oh,
Do you-
okay. Well, Kelly, if you want to read this one so I can take a quick little break.
I was going to say,
Okay.
asked if you needed a break.
I do.
All right.
Actually, my throat is like...
She need a break.
I know, Flash fan. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I'm going to be
I'm gonna
Mr.
take a
Parker.
picture.
Yeah, you'll be Mr. Parker. I'll be Dr. Stedman.
You got some
Okay.
long sentences too, Mr. However you pronounce it, Dr. Stanton.
Oh, well, good.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your full name, Dr. Stedman,
Henry R. Stedman.
And you're a physician. And what was your professional education?
I graduated Harvard Medical School, receiving my degree in I'm going to assume 1875. I then went into general practice in 79 took up the study of mental diseases as an assistant physician at Danvers Hospital. Since then, I have been engaged exclusively in that line of work at various hospitals.
Since when?
Since 1879. I was not born then, Flashman.
You have seen the prisoner, Jane Toppan?
I have.
And under what circumstances and conditions or arrangements did you see her? Did you first see her, doctor? Where and by what virtue of what arrangements? No conversations that you had with anybody, but did you go with anyone?
I first saw her in March. I forget the precise date, of course. I can tell you by referring to my notes.
You may refer to any minutes that you may have.
That's still you, Kelly.
Oh, I am permitted, if your honors please, by the learned counsel for the defense to say that it is understood that the visits of Dr. Stedman to the prisoner were with the knowledge and at the request and suggestion of the defense's counsel.
March 20th, 1902.
And who is with you?
Dr. Jelly and Dr. Quimby.
And Dr. Jelly is Dr. George S. Jelly of Boston.
Yes, sir.
A specialist in mental diseases of long practice and well known.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Quimby.
Dr. H.N. Quimby, the superintendent of the Worcester Insane Hospital. Dang.
And a specialist also in the same line of investigation and study.
A specialist.
Now, without going into details of all the conversations with the prisoner, I want to ask if at any time the prisoner made any statement in your presence or to you concerning the administration of any drug to Miss Mary D. Gibbs, the person named in this indictment.
Yes, but first I have to change. It is not Worcester, it's Worcester. Sorry. Like a rooster.
What's it?
I said Worcester, because that's how we would say it here. But it's Worcester.
Okay.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
You know Gabby gonna come in like, no, I can't get that thing.
Yeah, she's gonna say cock-a-doodle-doo, mother effer. All right, sorry.
She made okay. Do you remember the date when she first made any such statement?
She first made the statement at our third interview on April 5th.
That is, you and the other two physicians had visited her twice prior to the visit in April.
We had visited her twice before.
Prior to her making any statement concerning the matter of the administration of any drugs, had anything been said to her concerning her right as to making any statements of an incriminating nature?
She was told on 2, and I think 3 occasions that she need not or should not make any statement which might incriminate her.
Was the statement to which I have been calling your attention or inquiring of made subsequent to that statement as to what her rights were?
It was.
Now, what was the statement that was made touching this matter with relation to Mrs. Gibbs?
She told us.
I omitted to ask you, Doctor, who was present?
Dr. Jelly and Dr. Quinby.
Dr. Jelly was appointed by the court at the request of the defendant as an expert on behalf of Mrs. Toppan, the prisoner. Is that correct?
So I understand.
And you made your visits with him, and the conversations to which you are now referring occurred in his presence.
Yes, sir.
Go on, Doctor.
Okay, I will. She told us voluntarily that she had caused the death of Mrs. Gibbs by giving her a poisonous dose of atropine and morphine. That was on the third interview. On the fourth interview, when Dr. Quimby and I alone were present, she stated that the drugs were in the form of tablets or pellets of atropine and morphine separately, that each pellet of morphine contained 1/4 of a grain of that drug, and each pellet of atropine 1/60th of a grain of that drug. She didn't know just how many of the she gave, that she certainly gave over a dozen pellets, and I understood her to say that she gave the amount twice, that she purchased those drugs in the afternoon at Falmouth, I think it was, and on her return.
Doctor, of what afternoon was she speaking when she said, in the afternoon?
In the afternoon, on the day of which Miss Gibbs was first taken ill, that on her return she administered these drugs, that at 8 o'clock she saw Mrs. Gibbs lying on the lounge asleep, that she endeavored to induce her to go to bed, but she refused to do so, that she herself went to bed, taking into bed with her the child of Mrs. Gibbs, that at 12 o'clock she again saw Mrs. Gibbs and found her in a semi-conscious condition from which it was difficult to arouse her. She again saw her at 3 o'clock, when she was still more unconscious and her extremities were cold, and that in the morning the doctors came and they were unable to do anything for her, that she became thoroughly comatose, and in that condition died. She also stated that she had convulsions. Okay.
Mrs. Gibbs?
Mrs. Gibbs had convulsions during her illness.
Is that the substance of her statement?
That is my face when I have to say Falmouth.
And it's Worcester.
Worcester, like a rooster.
Worcester.
It'd be Worcester here. How do you get Worcester out of that?
I don't know.
They don't say they are. They say W like don't they say W like Elmer Fudd, Wabbit?
Worcester.
Worcester.
We're hunting wabbits.
Worcester. That is all I recall now, sir.
Did she say, Doctor, anything as to the method by which she administered the drug?
She said, don't question English, AJ. It makes little sense. Okay. I believe you, Haley. She said, as I understood her, that she was uncertain, but gave me to understand that they were administered by the rectum in a solution of whiskey and water. I always get that one.
Spicy water.
Ooh, and at what time?
Well, I cannot say about that.
Whether in the afternoon or the evening?
I cannot say about that.
Did she state to you, Doctor, anything about the properties of these drugs or her knowledge of their properties?
I did not go into that with her.
Or did she say anything as to her purpose in administering them? I ask you now only for the answer yes or no, whether she made any statements as to her purpose in administering the drugs.
Where was this guy on the last witness?
Yeah, what could you do that with Dr. Whitney or whatever?
You're right.
And notice he doesn't answer yes or no either. Not with reference to this case, in particular, anyone's special case.
You spoke with her of other cases as well as this, did you, Doctor?
Yes.
Then speaking of
Sorry.
this in conjunction with other cases and without naming any other cases, did she in that connection express or state to you that her purpose was in the administration, what her purpose was in the administration of this poison?
She did, to cause death.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it may it please your honors, at this moment, I do not care to inquire further upon this line because the subject matter, because I know what it is about, and I will suspend this particular line of inquiry at this moment. How many times did you
leave us hanging, Mr. Paka?
Right. Mr. Paka. How many times did you see the prisoner, observe her, and converse with her?
4 times.
And your interviews were at what length?
Well, about 5 hours each.
And made in the company with Dr. Jelly, how many times?
With Dr. Jelly 3 times, even though you didn't ask. With Dr. Quimby 4 times.
So that 3 of these interviews, all 3 of the physicians were present, and at one, you and Dr. Quimby alone.
Yes, sir.
Now I ask you, doctor, whether from your observation of the prisoner, you formed any opinion as to whether she intelligently or comprehendingly stated to you this recital of facts. In your opinion, did she understand and comprehend what she was saying when she told you of the administration of these drugs?
I think she did fully.
Do you think, from your study of the woman, her manner of telling it, and your investigation, that she did make a true recital of the facts touching the matter of the administration of the poison?
In all important particulars.
As to the administration of the drug.
Yeah, yes. Like as much as poor Flash fan was recounting every moment of every day of every word that was said, this guy's like, yep.
That person, they're like, well, is this a district attorney? Well, yeah, he was a district attorney. And then I said this. I'm like, what the?
I mean,
and it just kept going and going.
It did. I mean, it was like you asked if I knew a person. I think that person was about to explode. They had to tell somebody. Like I just, yes, you asked me if I know Mr. Cash. I do. And all this. That's nothing to do with Mr. Cash. And nobody said anything. Like, yeah, just go. Just let him run.
There'd have been so many objections today.
And the judge just fell asleep during her testimony too.
All 3 of them.
Wakes up every once in a while just with a random yes.
Yes.
They're just like, what?
Now, may it please your honors, at this point, the Commonwealth would nominally rest its case. Of course, my learned friends on the other side do not anticipate, of course, it is their right to indicate their course. But at any time, I claim my right to address the court as to the case and the evidence, but it is not the intention of the state to contest or to controvert the commission of the acts, but to inquire into the moral and mental responsibility of the defendant.
Consultation between the respective counsel and the court.
What that evidence, if your honors please, the Commonwealth rests its case.
Hallelujah.
Whew.
Woohoo! I forgot my kazoo.
It is the defensive state.
That is quite okay. All right. Do you want me to read Mr. Murphy Flash Me In?
I can do it. This is a dude. I
Okay.
won't read him in a female voice. All right. The
So this is
opening.
this is defense opening statement. Finally.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Opening address. J. Stewart Murphy Esquire. He starts out by saying, "Your Honors, please, Mr. Foreman and gentlemen of the jury, in opening this case for the defense, it is only necessary for me to take a very few moments of your time. If you are unmindful gentlemen of the responsibilities and the duties that are before you, the Attorney General of the Commonwealth has made clear the burden that devolves upon you in the deposition of this case. This has been truly a remarkable case. It has been remarkable in the astounding facts that were made in the perplexing development of the case, in the medical problems. Come on, iPad, go back. Come on. In the medical problems, which it presented, and it is also somewhat remarkable in the somewhat unusual manner in which it has been presented to you. It is simply my duty to explain to you, gentlemen, why this case has come to you in an unusual manner. Ordinarily, cases of this nature are tried out to a bitter finish, but when the defense, the counsel assigned by the court to defend the prisoner at the bar, begin the preparation of the defense in this case, difficulties presented themselves, perplexities, developments of a remarkable nature, such as suggested that this case was not one that should be tried and developed upon ordinary lines. Medical questions presented themselves. A chain of circumstances covering a sense of years, covering a wide range of territory, made the labor of defense exacting and perplexing. As my learned brother has already said, I forgot to do that in Massachusetts. This case comes to you, gentlemen, apparently to be disposed of in a somewhat perfunctory manner, but the fact is that this somewhat perfunctory disposal of this case is the result of many weeks and months of study and preparation, and the result is that the government officials in charge of the prosecution, uh, and the counsel for the defense, after repeated conferences regarding the deposition of the case, have agreed that it should be disposed of in this manner. Therefore, gentlemen, the defense neither admitting nor denying the evidence which the government has furnished to you simply wishes to state that by agreement with the officials representing the prosecution, it was determined that conditions existed here that demanded that the most expert authority on the condition of the prisoner at the bar should be called in to enlighten uh, you to enlighten us in the court, and we shall therefore wait. Let me try to mess it up. Content ourselves with presenting for your consideration testimony of three gentlemen, the most learned and the most eminent in the profession, and their specialties, experts in mental diseases of the highest standing, selected in uh, con- concurrence by the defense and by the government, pursuing their examination of the subject in hand, visiting the prisoner, conferring with her for hours, discussing the subject together, spending many hours of study and discussion and conference, and arriving at a unanimous conclusion, which has justified us in placing the case before you in this unusual manner. Now, gentlemen, the defense will undertake to show, without denying or omitting the evidence which the government has presented to you, that this defendant is and has been insane. Such an opening on the part of the defense has been foreshadowed by the remarks of my learned brother, the Attorney General of the Commonwealth. The counsel for the defense, in arriving at this conclusion and making this arrangement with the government, have not been unmindful of the rights of the defendant. And I assure you, gentlemen, that this conclusion is arrived at with a full belief that every right of the prisoner has been guarded, that her interests are best served by the defense, which we propose to offer to you. Come on. Propose to offer to you. And that the further duty which I concede rests upon any counsel charged with such a duty, that of our duty to the court, the defendant, the public, must have due and full consideration. That duty has been fulfilled, and in conclusion, I have to say only this: that the gentlemen who will present to you the result of their examination of the prisoner are agreed upon by the government as experts of the highest order, that, as I understand it, they accept the finding, the report. That is to say, they will not controvert the finding of the gentleman who will be asked to testify to you on that point.
I kept waiting for Mickey Mouse to interrupt him. There's something to say. All right.
All right. Who am I, Mr. Bixby, or you're Mr. Bixby?
I'll be Mr. Bixby, and one of you can be Dr. Jelly. Because these are three doctors that we go through pretty quick.
Okay.
Dr. Jelly.
I get to ask questions. Doctor, what is your full name?
George F. Jelly.
PB&J.
And you reside where? Jelly Donut.
I reside in Boston.
Sorry. And what is your profession?
I'm a physician.
And where did you graduate?
I graduated at Harvard Medical College in 68. That's 1868 for all you youngins. 34 years
And
ago.
we were not there.
Ooh, do y'all want me to do cross-examination?
I don't care.
Okay.
You sound excited about it.
I always wanted to act as a defense attorney. I'm going to be aggressive.
Well, you're the Commonwealth, but you'll be
But it's cross-examination.
Yep.
So.
Yes. All right. I'm kind of scared. Do you occupy any public position in Boston?
I am, at the present time, I am chairman of the State Board of Insanity. I have supervision over the insane in Massachusetts. Oh, hell.
Good luck.
Oh, wow.
Good luck. That's all I got to
What's
say with that.
job?
Wow.
All the insane. Oh my gosh.
I am king shit of Turd Island. I'm an examining physician in one of the departments of the city where I examine in regards to the questions of insanity and commitment about 500 patients a year, besides my own private practice, in which I see many insane, in making a specialty of nervous diseases for at least 33 years.
At some time last spring, did you see the defendant, Jane Toppan?
In conjunction with Dr. Quimby and Dr. Stedman, I saw Jane Toppan.
And you went there at the request of whom?
I received by your hand a request signed by the Attorney General, and then the District Attorney, Mr. Holmes, and yourself requested me to act in conjunction with Dr. Quimby, who examined Jane Toppan in such ways as we thought best, together or otherwise, and to report our opinion.
And
Such
in
ways we
pursuance
thought
of
best, together or otherwise. What the hell?
otherwise. And there's like no, whoever typed this part decided commas and punctuation were out.
Right.
Just saying. And in pursuance of that, you saw her where?
In pursuance of that, I saw her with Dr. Quimby and Dr. Stedman, which has nothing.
Where?
Can you answer my question? On March 20th at the jail in Barnstable.
How long did you stay with her at that time?
We were there between 4 and 5 hours.
Did you make a thorough examination of her at that time?
We had a long conversation with her at that time. Our very first thing was to qualify her and put her on guard and tell her that we had come to examine her as to her mental and physical condition, and tell her that she need not incriminate herself unless she saw fit to do so. We carefully guarded her after telling her our object.
And when did you visit her again?
I visited her with Dr. Quimby and Dr. Stedman again on March 27th, just a week after.
How long were you there?
Between 4 and 5 hours at that time.
And when did you go again?
On April 4th with the same gentleman.
When you go
How much of an
again?
examination? How much of an examination did you make?
And 5 hours at that time.
When was the last examination?
So that was the last examination that I saw her. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5 hours.
Has
Oh, you bet. Come on.
Oh, I like how Grammarly just popped up an ad in the middle of my Word document. Yes, I know the grammar sucks,
Okay.
Grammarly. I didn't type it. Thanks. They're like 50% off. You need it. Oh, goodness. As a result of your different examinations, did you reach an opinion as to her sanity or otherwise?
I did.
As a result of your examinations, what do you say as to her condition on the 13th day of August last?
I think she was insane. I think she's crazy.
You know, I was really wondering where that was going to go. Oh.
Right there. Full stop. Period. Full stop.
Period. Full stop.
Yes. What particular kind of insanity do you call it?
I think she was born with a weak and nervous mental condition. Hold on. I think she's just nuts. I think she was born with a weak and nervous mental condition to a certain extent and has been suffering. And then at the time of the crime, of which she was charged with a degenerative form of mental disease. Was manifested by a lack of moral sense of defective self-control and an irresistible impulse to criminal acts. She couldn't help herself, Judge. She
Gabby
couldn't
can
help
never be a juror.
herself. Right.
After for the jury box, he's like, "What in the court?"
Gabby's like, I can't.
Like, you guys just don't get it. You don't understand. You won't understand until it happens.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
okay.
That condition exists now, in your opinion?
It existed at the time of the murder, and it exists now, in my opinion.
Cross-examination. Here we go, Mr. Parker.
Hell. Go
All
easy
right.
on me.
Go
It
get
is
Dr.
your
Jelly.
opinion- It is your opinion that she has sufficient intelligence to fully comprehend the procedure of the court today. That she has intelligent comprehension of her surroundings.
I have no doubt she understands the matter of her trial. I simply meant to say what I said before. From the lack of moral sense, she does not comprehend the moral effects of moral conditions of her acts.
Morally.
She does not have any morals.
Have you any doubt of her capacity to connect and fully understand the events that have taken place?
I have no doubt about what she has.
And on the statement of the fact she gave to you at her connection with the alleged crimes, do you think she understands what has taken place?
I believe she understood what was taking place.
Is the form of insanity in which she is suffering incurable?
It is an incurable form of insanity.
All right, that's it for that one.
Gabby, would you like to be Dr. Stedman this time?
I will do my best.
I'll be Mr. Murphy. I'm going to
which probably
question
isn't-
you.
Which probably isn't the best, but we'll do it.
All right. Well, since he doesn't ask the name is Dr. Stedman. Did you visit Miss Toppan?
I did.
In conjunction with whom?
With with Dr. Jelly and Dr. Quidby.
Will you give the dates?
The dates were March 20th, March 29th, April 4th, and April 9th.
Upon the first three occasions, I think you testified that Dr. Jelly and Dr. Quimby were present.
The first three were, yes.
And the fourth, yourself and Dr. Quimby?
Yes.
Will you state to the jury what was the results of those examinations and what was your personal conclusion as to her condition?
The result of those examinations was that I reached the opinion that the defendant was insane and irresponsible for the crimes for which she is charged. That she was suffering from a degenerative insanity characterized by the abuse of moral sense, by defective control, and by the irresistible impulse to the commission of extreme crimes.
What, in your opinion, was her condition in August of 1901?
Batshit crazy. This woman was batshit crazy. She did it. Put her away for life. Put her away, I tell you. I tell you what, put her away. I consider that she was laboring under insanity.
Under the same conditions you found when you visited her?
Under the same conditions, except that then the opportunities were present which allowed the insanity to manifest itself in its full form. So she just like randomly just turned into a demon out of nowhere.
She's like, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What form of insanity would you term this form with which she is afflicted?
I have just endeavored to give a definition.
As to its technical classification?
It belongs to the degenerative type. It is constitutional, probably inherited, confirmed, and renders such a person always dangerous and a menace to society, if at large.
We can't have that. Cross-examination.
Mr.
All right.
Parker.
And are you of the opinion that she is incurably insane?
I am.
An opportunity offering for insanity to manifest itself, it might again be manifesting homicide if she was at large.
Unmistakably.
Okay.
Kelly, do you want to be Dr.
Okay.
Quimby?
Yeah, just let me get a little sip here. What is your full name?
Well, no, that's me. You're Dr. Quimby.
Oh, sorry.
That was good.
uh,
I think
what
we're
is your
all
full
insane at this point.
Yeah.
What is your full name?
Dr. Hosea M. Quimby.
You are a graduate of what institution?
Harvard Medical School.
What has been the nature of your practice?
All my life, I've been connected with the insane hospital.
So, like the insane clown posse.
Wow.
All right. And are you now connected with what institution?
Since 1890, I've been superintendent of the Worcester Insane Hospital.
Worcester?
Can't do it. I cannot do it. Don't hate me.
Uh-oh. Zach is in the house. I say,
And
now,
for-
Beulah, get to your sweet ass over
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I do believe I am overdue for my rectal injection.
Since 1890, I've been the superintendent of the Worcester Insane Hospital, and for 14 years prior to that was superintendent of the asylum, also an insane hospital in the same city.
Why do they have so many?
They were everyone. Everyone was just insane.
Because that's where
Boston.
they always
It's
drop the women off. You're being
Massachusetts, that's what.
Yeah, they're just
hysterical. We're dropping you off at the hospital. Have you visited Jane Toppan, the prisoner?
Oh shoot. I have,
In company with whom?
in company with Dr. Jelly and Dr. Stedman.
Does anybody hear Beyonce every time she says Dr. Jelly?
Dr. Jelly.
I always hear, I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. You will now. And upon what occasions?
On the occasions of March 20th, March 27th, and April 4th and April 9th.
And on the first occasion, how long did you examine her? Good grief.
Listen,
4 to 5
listen.
hours.
On each occasion, we spent about 5 hours each time examining her.
And on the last occasion, whether Dr. Jelly was present?
On the last occasion, Dr. Jelly was not present, as aforementioned.
From your examination of her and your study of her case, and upon your experience, would you state to the jury what, in your opinion, was her condition in August of last year, and what is it now?
Why are you saying it like that? It's so funny.
I don't know.
The jury.
The way she said jury gets me. Well, he's not jurors like Newman.
Beep. Kelly, After Kelly. It's Kelly. Order in the court, Kelly. It's your turn.
Did her
Where she
audio go
went?
off?
Oh,
No.
no.
Oh, she left. Oh, no.
She's like,
Oh,
I'm
wait,
over this.
She's like, I don't want to be order. And stop asking me how long the examinations were. They were 4 to 5 hours. It was like 4, 5 of them. Well, wait, she'll pop back in.
She will.
My
Oh my god.
My gosh.
throat is still messed up from.
Oh my god.
But
That-
Can you imagine?
I would
Can
have
you-
There she is. There she is. All right. Are you good?
Can you hear? Uh-oh.
Kelly?
Uh-oh. Something's going on.
Woohoo.
Maybe audio issue, tech issues? Well,
Beulah.
gotta be tech.
Beulah. This
don't know if
happens sometimes though when she goes into like chat and Discord too. She can't hear us or something happens with like her audio.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she can hear us, but just if she can hear us, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her mic is off mute too.
Yeah. If you can hear us, I would go back out, come back in again, maybe.
Or put some barbecue sauce on the mic.
Oh, okay. That's very random. She says she doesn't know what's going on.
Oh.
Okay. I'm just gonna tell her keep trying, and we'll just keep going. We cannot hear you, Kelly. She's like, "Can you hear me now?" So she must be able to hear us. We cannot hear you.
We can't hear you, no. We can see what you wrote, but we can't hear you.
Yep.
Well,
Maybe
not here,
go
but you-
out and come back. I don't know if you need to restart. I don't know.
All that talk of insanity, her tablet went insane and just stopped working.
Like,
Yeah,
stop
it's
it.
like, yeah. I'm insane now with all this insanity talk.
All right. While she works on that, now I've
That
got
was two. This happened to you the other day, remember?
It did.
All right.
Okay.
While she works on that,
No, we hear you because I hear me.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
all right. Okay. While she works on that.
Okay.
No,
Woohoo!
Wait.
There's two
Can you hear?
there's two versions of the us talking. We can hear us in
Yeah,
the background as well.
You can hear me now, though?
Yes.
Yes.
And you can't hear yourself anymore, right?
Correct.
No.
Okay. Go ahead and read without me because I don't want it to mess everybody up again, okay? I don't know why it does this to me.
Okay. I mean, you can. Okay.
Yeah, let's just keep going without me reading, okay?
Okay. Gabby, do you want to be Dr. Quimby?
Yeah, where did she leave off?
Where it says, I think at the time of committing the act.
I think at the time of committing that act in August, she was insane. And she is insane now.
Hope I'm trying to scroll on the wrong page. To what class of insanity would you ascribe her condition?
The same as the other gentlemen have done, a form of degenerative insanity manifested by the lack of control, by the absence of moral sense, and an irresistible impulse to commit criminal acts.
Wow. Well, would you ascribe to her any lack of intelligent comprehension of her acts?
I do not.
Cross-examination.
All right, let's see.
Okay, I think I'm good. I'm back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What happened to
And now Flashman is gone.
my device said like no? Okay. You also are of the opinion, doctor, that this insanity is incurable.
You want me to go? I am.
Yeah.
And that at large she would be a constant menace to the safety of the community.
Yes.
It is the type or kind of insanity from which she is suffering, a type familiar to the science which you profess.
Yes.
And it is known in the study of insane patients and manifestations of the various forms of insanity.
Yes.
That is our case. Defendant rest.
Woo-hoo!
Closing arguments.
Okay.
Mr. Parker.
All right, now let's see. May it please the court, the three learned gentlemen who have testified to the court were agreed upon by the Commonwealth and the defense as gentlemen best qualified by profound study and a wide experience to advise with the Commonwealth and with the defense concerning the condition of this prisoner. The investigation was continued at the length to which the witnesses have testified. They making constant reports to the officers of the Commonwealth and to the defense as well. The most careful, wide-searching, far-reaching investigation was made by the officers of the Commonwealth, touching on the facts concerning issues involved in this case, and as well the history of this prisoner. We believe we have been furnished with the most learned, the most enlightened, the most consensus opinion upon this mysterious subject of insanity that we could procure from any source. The Commonwealth does not convert the opinions of the witnesses who testify, but on the contrary, believe that it is the best and most reliable opinion that the Commonwealth could procure to aid the jury and the court and to protect not only the defendant herself, but the safety of the public. So the Commonwealth does not convert and cannot convert the conclusion reached by Dr. Jelly and Dr. Steedman and Dr. Quimby. We will offer no testimony meet it or impair it. It's also me. They finally called him justice now. Okay. Does the Commonwealth desire to go to the jury on any issue in this case? There is no issue, it seems to me, to be argued before the jury. And I'll talk to myself for a minute. Does the learned counsel for the defendant desire to address the jury? Okay, there we go.
No, I do not. If it would be competent to ask the court to instruct the jury to return a verdict of or not guilty by reason of insanity.
Neither the Attorney General nor the learned counsel for the defendant desiring to address the jury, it becomes the duty of the court to inform the defendant at the bar. Oh no, come on. At the bar, that according to the established procedure in this Commonwealth, you have the privilege, if you see fit to exercise, to address the jury in your own behalf. You are not obligated to do so. That's weird. So the defendant may give an opening state or closing argument they would. And may, if you choose, lead your defense upon the basis where it has been placed by your counsel. No inference will be drawn against you from your omission to say anything to the jury on your own behalf. Do you desire to say anything?
I do not.
I was going to say, you get to be her. And I changed that to say her name because they just had the prisoner.
Oh my.
It's like, no.
The defendant does not desire to say anything. The evidence is now before you, and the law will be explained to you by Justice Bell. Okay, that's somebody else now.
Judge Bell.
Gabby?
Mr. Foreman and gentlemen of the jury, in this case, counsel as well on behalf of the Commonwealth, on behalf of the prisoner, have summoned to you their statements on the evidence which you have heard. It remains for you to determine the issues involved. The first issue for you to determine is whether it is proved by Mary D. Gibbs came to her death by poisoning. Upon that matter, you have had the evidence offered by the Commonwealth, which has not been controverted by the defendant, who has offered no evidence to meet it. And it authorizes you and requires you to find that she did come to her death by poison. The evidences of the witnesses and the admission of the defendant fully support that proposition and require you so to find. When you have found that, there follows the next question, which is, was the poison administered by the defendant, Jane Toppan, with malice, aforethought, here we go, and with
Don't worry, that's the only, there's no aforesaid in here.
Oh.
I just said, oh, here we go.
And with, get your shots ready, ladies and gentlemen. With malice aforethought and with intent to cause the death of Mrs. Gibbs. Upon the equality with the other is the evidence of the witnesses who have testified to the facts, and by Miss Toppan's own admissions that she did administer the poison and that it was done with the intent to cause the death of Mrs. Gibbs. If those are the facts, they again authorize and require you to find that question in the affirmative, that Mrs. Gibbs did come to her death by the act and the malice aforethought of the defendant, Miss Toppan, liar.
No, I said there's no aforesaid.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have any aforethought.
Having found two questions in any ordinary case, the result would be a verdict of guilty. The defendant and the government alike call your attention to the evidence of the last witnesses who have testified, which is that at the time of at the time of this poison was administered, Jane Toppan was not in the possession of her senses and was insane. And that the question is, did Jane Toppan at the time she administered the poison have intelligence and the capacity enough to have a criminal intent and purpose? These experts who have testified and who have certified as well by the and who are certified as well by the government as by the defendant to be competent, assure you that she does not possess the requisite mental capacity to have a criminal intent. Upon that, I will read you further a few words as to what that intent must be. The general rule is this. In order to constitute a crime, a person must have intelligence and capacity enough to have a criminal intent and purpose. And if his reason and mental powers are either so deficient that he has no will, no conscience, or controlling mental power, or if through the overwhelming violence of mental disease, his intellectual power is for the time obliterated, he is not a reasonable, God, I cannot read it today. Help me out.
Reasonable.
Responsible.
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 I was thinking the same thing Kelly was trying to read.
I know.
Moral agent and is not punishable for criminal acts.
Did you just say cheese?
Yeah, I did. It is the language which is used in an important capital case by one of the justices of the Supreme Court. Hey, I need a sip.
I don't blame you.
She said, get your shots ready.
Oh, yeah. Okay. These witnesses testify that Miss Toppan, at the time she performed this act, was not such a responsible moral agent that she could have a criminal purpose. The deliberate intention and deliberate malicious intention to commit murder, and therefore upon this proposition, there is but one answer to be made. It is that she was not responsible criminally for her acts, and that the evidence and the admissions of the government require you there as well to make this finding. That finding is this, that she is not guilty by reason of insanity. Under our statutes, that finding requires a judgment and an order of this court that thereupon she be confined in an asylum for the insane for the term of her natural life. And from that asylum, she can only be released as she could be from any other place of criminal detention by order of the government and council, so that the result of your verdict, if you make the verdict according to the evidence which has been here submitted, and I assume that you will be in order that she be confined to an asylum for the insane for the remainder of her natural life. In this case, gentlemen, the evidence has to be so presented that it seems to me that it requires on your part, although you are the final judges of all the questions of the fact, it seems to me it requires these findings on your part. First, that the death of Mrs. Gibbs was caused by poison, that it was caused by poison deliberately and maliciously administered by the defendant with the intent to cause her death, and last, that it at the time of the administration of that poison, the defendant was not in a condition of mind which made her criminally responsible for what she was doing. And the result of those three propositions is that the legitimate verdict is not guilty by reason of insanity.
Is that not crazy?
Very
He just
good.
told them, here, we think that you should find her. Did I understand that to be like, he says, if you understand this, you are the final judges, but if you understand it the way I understand it, you can only find her not guilty by reason of insanity. And, you know, they said the jury didn't need to deliberate in openings, and the judge just told them the verdict.
The judge just said she's guilty and lock her away.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he says, the judge said, the jury may retire.
On the coming in of the jury, the defendant was requested by the clerk to stand. Gabby, do you want to be the clerk or the foreman?
I'll be the foreman.
All right, I'll be the clerk. Prisoner, look upon the foreman. Foreman, look upon the prisoner. What say you, Mr. Foreman? Is Jane Toppan, the prisoner, at the bar, guilty or not guilty?
The verdict we have written.
You can answer guilty or not guilty.
Not guilty.
By reason of insanity?
By reason of insanity.
The jury may all rise?
Oops. Gentlemen of the jury, you say on your oath that Jane Toppan, the prisoner at the bar, is not guilty by reason of insanity. So you say, Mr. Foreman, so you all say, gentlemen.
That woman is so insane, she needs to be locked up right now.
May it please your honors, in accordance with the verdict returned by the jury under the statute of the Commonwealth, as I understand, it remains only for the court to pass an order of commitment of the prisoner to one of the institutions of the Commonwealth for the confinement of the insane, in so far as it is proper for the prosecuting officer of the Commonwealth to make suggestions or to advise or inform rather the court of the character and location of such an institution. I am prepared. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. It was just real quiet.
We were just listening.
I am prepared if the court so directs to give to the court such information as I have. I am informed, if the court pleases, that the institution provided well adapted for the care and confinement of this prisoner is the Taunton Insane Hospital in the city of Taunton.
Taunton.
Taunting. Like you're taunting a kid back in the day.
Taunton. I need not, of course, make any observations as to the character of her insanity or the necessity of her permanent confinement, because that is provided by the statute. And upon the evidence of her condition, but one order of commitment can be made.
I think, Your Honor, the defense would be perfectly content with that disposition of her at that institution.
Do you wish to say anything concerning the order which the court is to make upon this verdict?
I have nothing to say.
The court will enter this order and announce it to the defendant.
All right. Who wants to read the order? I don't care. The clerk's reading the order. I'll read the order, I guess.
You, the clerk.
June 1902, Commonwealth by indictment versus Jane Toppan. Order. And now, in this case, the jury, having returned on said indictment a verdict of not guilty by reason of insanity, it is now ordered by the court here that she, the said Jane Toppan, be committed to the Taunton Insane Hospital at Taunton, in the county of Bristol, during her natural life, and that she be and remain in the custody of the sheriff of the county of Barnstable until she be removed pursuant to this order by the court, Smith K. Hopkins, clerk.
Period. Full stop.
Period. Full stop. Filed June 23rd, 1902.
Okay, let's
Oh,
see.
wow, a year
Foreman-
later.
Foreman and gentlemen, you have heard a case very carefully, impartially, and gleefully presented upon both sides, with the reasons given for
Wait.
Sorry, Flashman. It did
Wait,
not say
I was-
gleefully.
I was just saying the same thing. I was like, where's gleefully? Where's he saying that?
Fully.
Wait, where?
Fully.
Oh, fully.
Oh,
I was like, wow.
Oh.
You have heard a case very gleefully in here. The demise of Miss Gibbs.
Well, AJ, it is the case of Jolly Jane, so
no other verdict under our system of law was possible than that which you have now returned. The thanks of the community are due to you for your service on its behalf. Mr. Sheriff, you'll make the previous proclamation.
I don't know what that is. It just said sheriff makes proclamation.
I proclamate.
Here, I think you can read this as the sheriff, Gabby.
Call
Or
it.
here, I'll read the top part and then you read the bottom part where it says greeting. To the sheriff of our county of Barnstable, or his deputies, and L.S. to the superintendent of the state lunatic hospital at Taunton in the county of Bristol. Jeez.
Greetings. Whereas Jane Toppan of Cambridge in the county of Middlesex, now before our superior court at the special sitting, therefore, holding at Barnstable, within and for aforesaid county of Barnstable, on the 23rd day of June, A.D. 1902, upon a indictment for the unaliving, of one Mary D. Gibbs of Bourne in said county of Barnstable on the 12th day of August, A.D. 1901, and whereas the said Jane Toppan having been set to her bar, they're giving her liquor now? What the hell's going on here?
No. To the bar.
Oh,
in the courtroom.
To the bar, and having said indictment read to her, she pleads and says that therefore she is not guilty, and for trial places herself on the county, and thereupon, right? Did I say that right? Thereupon, on said 23rd day of June, A.D. 1902, the jury is duly impaneled and sworn to try the issue, who after a full hearing and considering all the matters and things considering the same and well understanding the same, returned their verdict into the court on their oath, say that they said defendant Jane Toppan is not guilty by the reason of insanity. And and the said verdict is affirmed by the court. And whereas it was thereupon considered and ordered by the court, here that said Jane Toppan be committed to the state lunatic hospital at Taunton in the county of Bristol during her natural life. Now, therefore, we command you, said the said sheriff and deputy, forthwith to convey the said Jane Toppan to the said lunatic hospital at Taunton
Sorry.
in the said county of Bristol, and her to commit to the custody of the superintendent of the said hospital with an attested copy of the warrant. And we command you, the said superintendent, to receive the said Jane Toppan to your custody and care in said hospital, and to detain her therein during the term of her natural life, or until she shall otherwise discharged therefrom in due course of law. Therefore, wait, how do you say it? Hereof, fail not. Witness Albert Mason, Esquire, at Barnstable, is 23rd day of June, in the year of the Lord, on 1902. Smith K. Hopkins, clerk.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
SS
That's
June
it.
24th, 1902, on the day of our Lord, aforesaid, on this day I delivered the name Jane Toppan to the superintendent of the state H. Lunatic Hospital in the county of Bristol, together with a attested copy warrant. Ernest S. Buford, Bradford, Deputy Sheriff.
You know, you wouldn't make fun of me for having that H in there if you knew how much I had to change that last paragraph to make it make sense. Because it said, in this day, it was all messed up and it made 0 sense. I could not make it make sense.
Well, that was a trial.
That's the end. We're done. We did
Crazy.
I don't know if they proved that she was insane, but I mean, the state the next question. So
it. No, and they weren't even trying to disprove that she did it. They were just trying to get her into
they just tried
asylum,
to get her out from being free out of the community,
right? But not. And I don't know at that time, in 1900. I don't know if Massachusetts did it, because if you think about it, it said it was a capital case. Capital cases today generally mean the unaliving penalty.
No, because they refer to, I think it just means like first degree in some states. Cause I know Colin Griffith, who's a teenager who can't be given a capital penalty, they say that's a capital case. I'm like, that is not a capital case. But
okay. Well, I just was wondering, had they have found her guilty, but not by reason of insanity?
Besides, you plead guilty or not guilty by way of saying, I think you can't. I'll have to ask Jedi Justice question because I don't know, because I'm not a lawyer. But I believe you can't be charged with giving the capital penalty if you plead or you try to use the insanity defense.
Maybe not today.
Oh, well, yeah, 1900s. Who knows?
I don't know. I just wondered if they would have found her just guilty, period, and didn't have the insanity thing, if they would have unalived her by hanging.
I have the newspaper article of when she passed away.
Okay.
It says she was arrested when she was 45.
Huh. She was. Oh, okay.
But she died when she was like, what, 89, 80
It says Miss Jane Toppan, 84, mass
84.
prisoner, dies. Institution inmate, many years, admitted slaying hundreds of persons. That's the title of the
100?
article.
She wanted
But
to.
she didn't confess to that many.
That's just the media putting their own spin on things.
That's the media. But it says Taunton, Mass, August 17th, Jane Toppan, often referred to as one of the most notorious poisoners of the world. That's what it says in quotations.
They didn't have the term serial unalive at that point.
Died today at Taunton State Hospital, where she had been an inmate for more than 36 years. She was 84 years old. It also says she was arrested when she was 45. Miss Toppan confessed of unaliving at least 100 persons, but that's not what they're just media. That's not what she confessed to. Including Captain Auburn, Toppan and his wife, a Lowell couple who took her in as an infant from the Boston Founding Institution. That's the place where her dad basically dropped her off when she was a little kid.
Is
like
she
the
unalive?
Orphanage.
Is she unalive them? Wow.
No. This is different lady. This is a different lady.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense.
I was like, she unalive the people that took her in? What a horrible person.
That's not what it said.
Dang.
Toppan and his wife, a Lowell couple who took her in as an infant from a Boston Foundling Institution.
Okay, so this would be her.
Okay, so they like adopted her or fostered.
Yes,
foster care.
They basically took her in, and she worked there to have a room. They didn't actually they never really adopted her. What she did, I remember this now. What she actually did, she unalived her stepsister, which was their daughter.
That's nice. Is she getting the better jobs?
And then it says she was acquitted of unaliving in Barnstable Court because of inherent insanity, but was committed. She was committed in the hospital on June 24th, 1902.
Yeah, that's the case we just read.
Yep.
I would not call that an acquittal, but I guess
she did. She technically won, but not really.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
So one of the Herbert Parker, the Attorney General at the time, testified she had unalived many of her friends, and on 2 occasions wiped out entire families.
How did he testify? At least not in this trial.
Not in this one. I would think there was more because
maybe she tried to fight it.
They would only prosecute her for one.
And he had to testify in appeals court.
Maybe. If she got to. I don't know. You got to think at how much things have changed since 1900. Just about them. I mean, even her defense attorneys were calling her the prisoner.
Yeah.
Everybody just referred to her as the prisoner.
I think I heard them say, or read they said defendant maybe 3 times, and that's about it.
But yeah, they kept at the prisoner and the prison. And then the judge is like, you can really only come to one verdict here, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, gentlemen.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
It also says soon after her incarceration, she became violent. And for years, was kept in a straitjacket.
Holy hell.
Ooh.
Of late years, however, hospital officials said she had been a quiet old lady, just another patient who caused no trouble.
Yeah, because she probably learned
Yeah, after being placed in there.
I can't imagine being in one for like 30 seconds, let alone years.
Yeah.
Those things just make me very claustrophobic. Like just looking at them. Yeah, I agree, Tracy. No way. I would behave. But I guess if I knew to behave, I wouldn't be there. So there's
Didn't it
Yeah.
that.
happen to me the first time I seen? I'm sure it happened. Well, I know it happened before because of this case, but this is the first time I seen when the sanity defense worked.
Chloe Driver,
Oh, okay.
when we watched that. And I think they got that one right. I know not everybody agrees with me, but
I,
um,
they got it right.
I think they did.
Mm.
She definitely had. I think she had a mental breakdown.
Mhm.
And who knows what was going on in that house. If you've never watched her sentencing, the dad of the daughter, the leader of that group, he came in and he tried to kind of pull the same stuff as that. The one guy that we always make fun of and always say, that's why we always say we're frolicking at the beach, because that's what he said women should do. That we should frolic at the beach and play with babies and make food, while
Oh,
men
is this the
had,
guy who's like the P guy?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Nerd drinker.
while men talked math equations and stuff. Yeah, that was our job.
I don't know.
Her-
No men that talk. No.
Yeah, that
we
was
couldn't we can't understand that. Those math.
that
I
guy
probably
was
something. I'm like,
Yeah, he
dude, you're in
was-
federal prison.
That
yeah,
guy
he was
So
really
his own
odd.
insanity defense.
yeah, I mean, you're in federal prison and you're drinking your urine. So please don't talk to me about understanding anything. But the guy he kept referring to and her, I don't know, were they ever technically married? Because it was that whole
He
cult
had
thing.
several wives.
Yes. So he couldn't testify.
Wait, he had 74 wives?
He has several wives.
Several.
Oh, I thought you said 74. I was like,
That's
dang.
a lot. Dang.
It's like, all right, jeez.
He's
Several.
tired.
Yeah.
He's a tired guy.
That guy must have been busy. God,
Popular guy. Very
He
popular.
could not testify at her trial because he was in jail. And the judge called him out on it and about, you were not here. And he, from the gallery, yells back, I was in jail. And
they ain't never stopped people from Quentin Nixon. You had multiple prison people in jail testify.
he was so condescending, and he really tried to do, I can't remember the other guy's name. Was it Shane? Doesn't matter.
Jason.
Doesn't matter.
It was Jason. I don't know how I remember that, but it's Jason.
Jason, Shane, whatever.
But
Yeah, he was just, he tried to kind of go and run the show, and it was infuriating listening to him speak, because it's like, you're acting like you really kind of cared, but you don't care. You don't really even look like you care at all.
Mm,
You're messing with these women
yeah.
and you're destroying them in the process.
Mhm.
And it's sad. There's more babies being born to him.
Yeah.
So
Why is it
that was,
always these kinds of people that have tons of kids?
they pick on the vulnerable,
Oh,
and they just
and then
work
these
on
poor
them.
kids are just stuck.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they don't know.
They don't
You
know.
just
You're
hope
right.
they're taken care of.
Yep.
And it broke her.
It's so sad.
She just wasn't good. But we finished this trial. I didn't mean to go. We typically don't go for 3 this long.
It took what, 2 weeks? 3? That's about the typical amount of an actual trial.
But we got it. We did it. Yay. Pat on the back, high fives all the way around. We did not get that off track. So that was good for us. I know.
I wish the cases that I like had what they do. It's just 26 weeks worth of them. I ain't trying to read that much.
No. We will be back Wednesday. So I think, Gabby, we're going to make a tab for this for her in Discord and put the newspaper and stuff
Yeah,
clippings
I'll put
in there.
all the stuff I got in there.
So if anybody wants to join Discord,
And if you want to actually see, hopefully it'll let me put it in there. But if you want to see what the actual transcripts really looked like,
yeah, they were fun.
yeah,
What I could find more? What I could find like I don't know that incident case from 1950 whatever I found transcripts, but I know it's probably not. But you got to pay for it. I ain't trying to do that either.
I like Kelly's avatar too, the little teeny tiny baby cat.
it is cute.
So we'll put that in Discord. What do they need to do, Gabby? We changed it. I know I should know
For
how to
what?
join Discord.
Oh,
Just
do you want me to put the link?
whatever.
Who's asking to be there?
Nobody. I was just saying we're going to put it in our Discord.
Oh,
You gotta know how to get in there.
yeah. If you already have a Discord, you can find me, and I'll send you a link to AJ's Discord. And you can join it. I have the same name and the same avatar as I do in chat in Discord.
So
I'm also a part of Squid's Discord, so you can if you came here from Squid's channel, you can find me in there and friend me there.
she's all over the place. You
Yeah.
guys all know Gabby.
I'm pretty sure I saw Gabby before I even knew who Gabby was.
But we will be back Wednesday at noon Eastern time, which is our normal time. I gotta check on some things. I'm not sure.
Are you finally doing Sherlock Holmes on Wednesday or
Sherlock Holmes? I think Flash Fan. I need to talk to you about this, but I'm gonna look to see if there's any updates on that Nebraska cold case.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so
I should ask AJ because she's AJ, Squid, because she's looking into with Captain Kern the Nebraska case with his daughter. I should ask how do you find documents, see if I can get like a website to that.
Okay, and I've got info from Jedi Jess too that I'll click and see what I can find. Tracy Carmen is doing a lot better. They're very, very busy at work all of a sudden. And very short staffed. So she's very busy, and I hope she better be sleeping right now. That's all I can say. But she is better. Gabby gets around, but not in a bad way.
They allow cameras in that Nebraska courtroom.
Yeah, good luck with that. Just saying. It's just about like as Indiana.
There's gonna be a lot of talk of foresight in that case.
Hey, we don't talk like that out there. Oh, thanks, Haley. So that's the plan. I'll look into that. Kelly will be presenting her serial unaliver on Friday. She is doing Gary Ridgway.
Yes.
It should be interesting because Kelly lived out there at that time when he was active.
Yes.
So
yes.
I am excited to hear her story. And so that will round out this week in Flashman.
Enjoy your trip.
Yeah, I leave on the 6th.
Yes, you're leaving. Kelly's leaving. It's just me and you, Gabby.
Oh, I didn't tell you I'm leaving too.
You're not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed.
I should do an episode at some point on the Blue-Eyed 6.
You just tell me what you're doing, and
they get
the
cake for the 1800. I gotta figure out what I'm saying I should do it. I don't even know what state that is.
I think my next guy too is.
I just remember seeing the podcast episode said the Blue-Eyed 6. I'm like, what the heck is this? And this is a true crime podcast, so it got something to do with crime.
Awesome.
My next guy is from New Hampshire, and I'm pretty sure that one's in like the 1800s too.
Awesome. I love these.
Somebody should do Jack the Stripper.
Jack the Stripper.
That is an actual case that took place in the 1970s in London.
I feel like it would he'd show up at your
That's
door and
also
you were thinking it's some kind of candygram for a
that's
bachelorette
also
party.
somebody just like
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper. That's also somebody that never got caught.
Yes. And
So Jack
never
the Stripper is just out there stripping,
I guess.
Oh.
hello,
just
Jack the
randomly
Stripper.
candy strippergram.
I was thinking, do you remember
You think it's going to be a good time, but
Ooh.
do you
I know what I'm getting Baker next year for his birthday.
oh,
Kelly, you might I don't know, Gabby, you might be too young, but Kelly might remember. Do you remember I think it was Saturday Night Live skit
yes, I remember
where
that.
they would knock on the door and it was Jaws. And she's like, I'm not opening the door for you. And he's like, Candygram. She's like, I know it's you,
Yes,
Jaws.
yes, yes,
And then
yes.
he would be like, flowers. And then he would finally get her to open the door.
That back in 1934, way before me.
Mhm.
Hey, it wasn't that.
1934.
Yeah.
It was in color.
You know, they had
Hey, Jay.
1934. Well, they did.
She just showed her age. She was like, it was in color.
Back when
Hey.
Saturday Night Live was funny.
AJ
Yes.
I know.
grabbing. She was grabbing Papa by. I'm gonna sit down and watch the Ed Sullivan show now.
No, I was listening to records on my phonograph while turning the thing, the
My
crank,
phonograph.
so it
I
came
don't
out the big horn.
want to know what a phonograph is.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Victoria.
How do you even spell that?
Oh, what was it called? It was Vic something.
Let's
Was
see.
a good one. Was a good brand.
Phonograph is a device that
He just like it was a good brand. It had easy
plate.
crankability.
originally
The crank
used
slide good.
cover in tinfoil or wax to store the audio, and later evolved
Also,
to use flat disc.
good upper arm
Established these.
workout.
Oh, so like a record player, a record player.
Yes,
First
a
version of what we-
phonograph.
Yep, let's say it's the first version of what we now call a record player or turntable. Oh, I seen that. Invented by Thomas Edison, really?
He was my neighbor. Good guy.
But yeah,
he
I've
was
seen those before.
he was bright. Sorry. Anyway,
Pretty sure I broke one by accident, pulling on the little thing that you spin. Like, oops, I didn't mean to do that.
well, those were fun phonographs.
Oh my god, I just looked down here and I was like, who's the gossip queen? And then I realized that's your name on here. I'm like, who's that?
That's the first thing I said when I came in. I'm like, how's the gossip queen of YouTube doing this morning?
I didn't even see that. That's hilarious.
I thanked Baker for that today. He's like, I didn't mean it that way. I was like, well, I didn't type it back out in chat, but I was like, it's stuck. So,
I saw it in a couple comments in Discord.
yep, I saw it.
That's what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make a new channel in there that's called the Gossip Corner.
I mean, there's somebody told me they was looking. Somebody they was like, "Do you watch YouTube?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." I'm like, "I even be on the stream." So I told them, I'm like, "I found somebody named Alternate Jerk." Well, they found the other person. I'm like, "I thought you said it with a female." I said, "You found the wrong person. They found the alternate corner."
Yeah, we're very, very different.
I was
Man,
like, "That's
woman.
the right person." I'm like, pretty sure he's from a different country too.
And yes, he has an accent. I have an accent, but they're different. So
When I asked him about you, he said he didn't know who you were. I'm like, he wasn't. That's wrong.
Flash fan. He's a Flash fan.
I mean,
Oh.
I got gifted a couple of membership from his channel, but I mean, I never been over there, so I don't know how I got gifted. But I'm
Yeah,
like, okay.
yeah. I don't know. But nope, that's not. No. I do not gossip, and I can't say I don't gossip. Everybody gossips. I don't have any gossip. That's the thing. I don't have
Oh,
any.
yeah. Gossip of the day. McDonald's Big Mac sales up.
Oh, there he is.
I have no gossip. Dang it. Are you not live? I was just Baker.
In that trial they doing was, I think it was supposed to be on closing argument today, if I remember correctly.
Are you still going? Says you're still going.
Probably not if we here.
Yeah, it
Bio
says
break.
he's live.
All right. Well, I'm sending people to you.
He said,
Get ready. We have no
Bio
gossip.
break. Got a bio break.
Let's go to the little lawyer's room.
Aw.
No lawyer's room.
That's the case I really need to catch up on because one of my cases involved insulin, and that's what that case involves.
It is. I will be curious to see. I haven't been able to watch all of it, but I've just been listening to Baker and reading his chat when I can, and they seem very split.
For me.
They
give me
seem
hope that DC will allow cameras at some point.
okay. They could be
Doubt
like
it.
Indiana and allow them and then never have them. Or
like California. Well, no, because California, they got 2 cases that they're planning on streaming. I'm like, oh, y'all trying to stream cases again? After all these years? I think the last big one that was streamed was Robert Durst a couple of years ago.
yeah, I think so. I yes, please
Oh,
don't get me
thanks,
started.
Haley.
Oh,
What?
Kelly,
What
what are you
happened?
reading?
she just
Oh.
saw. She just.
Oh,
saw
she
her
loves
thing,
Kelly's.
Avatar.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
I'm probably way
I was like,
behind.
I was
oh,
so
you're
lost.
fine. I was just like, wait, I don't have a comment.
No, I just saw it.
All right. Well, thank you guys, everyone that's hung out with us all day.
Yeah, thanks
all of you
guys for helping read too.
Yes,
Oh,
this
yeah,
has been
we
fun.
went on today. We went to 3:00.
I know. It's like almost
I
bedtime.
know. I gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Sorry, Gabby.
That's okay.
So if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. We will be doing more of these. I hope we are able to find some more of these old transcripts because they're hilarious. And
I'll
see
take
you
a
guys all Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And you'll have to tune in to see what we're doing because I'm not exactly sure right at this point. I have
Maybe
a couple of
it'd be
ideas.
Sherlock Holmes. Maybe it'd be a stream on.
Not Sherlock Holmes. Not Sherlock Holmes ever.
H. Holmes.
Close enough.
I don't think so.
Close enough.
I'm going to say he would say no. But yes, not Sherlock Holmes.
I'm not associated. I do not. It's elementary, my dear Watson. I do not associate.
Aforson.
I did not unalive the aforesaid person and the aforementioned person after that. Don't ask me why I'm talking like that. I don't know. I do know this.
That's a Valley Girl Southern accent.
I don't know what that was, except bad. It was bad. All right. I'm sending y'all over to Mr. Baker. So make sure you say hello and let him know that we came over there. And I'll see you guys all on Wednesday. And here we go.